Hey y'all, it's Shane Rice here, Inbound Marketing Manager, kicking off the Growth Marketing Weekly Recap call. And so we're going to talk about metrics now. While I let 15 seconds of Do You Realize play so that we don't get any copyright. I hit the wrong button and muted myself. I mean, we got some copyright dings already, but you know, we'll be all right with that. So let me go and we'll just kick right over to the agenda doc so we can walk through the numbers this week. So looking here, you can see we are 81.32% of the way through the quarter as of yesterday. So far this quarter, our goal is to grow web traffic 20% year over year, and we're seeing numbers dip here. User growth is down to 11.39%, up from highs of 22 or more over the summer. But we anticipated this just with some of the.
Shane, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Your audio is very quiet, and I'm worried the recording won't come through.
Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. Any better?
Maybe a little louder.
A little louder. A little louder.
A little more.
All right.
That's good.
All right. Great. So page views also down as we're still growing, but not as at the rate we want to be or where we expect to be at this point. Well, I should say we expected this because of some activity in September, October last year related to Series E, display advertising, things like that. And then you can also see the breakout for strategic marketing buckets. It's important to remember that a lot of the downward trend you see here is reflected from those trends I mentioned around Series E, display advertising, other things from last year that we're not replicating. But going down to MQL commitments, I'm really excited to look at this and share that we are continuing to grow our pace. So we're up 1%. Our pace is up 1% for large MQLs, over 4% for mid-market, and 2% for SMB. So again, this is just backing up that trend we saw in early August, where we're all very concerned about MQL progress and where we're at for the quarter. And so as we head into the last 2 weeks of the quarter, I don't anticipate we're going to hit 100% on these, but we are getting much closer to the goal than when we started the quarter. So that's encouraging to see. And so you can click source on any of these links you see here, lead you to the source report, so you can actually see these numbers for yourself if you want to explore or take a look at anything else there. And so with that, I'll stop sharing my screen. And since Luke isn't on the call, I'll go ahead and kick off show and tell. So this is just a time for people on the team to share the things they're working on, and just let this team and the rest of GitLab that's watching this video on Unfiltered know more about the work we're doing. So first person we have is Suri, who's not on the call. Would someone from the content team like to verbalize Suri's item?
I can, since we're both kind of presenting the same thing. So Suri has been working on these cluster pages or web articles around the version control topic page. So I can share my screen. So yeah, so these cluster pages are meant to support the main topic page. So we've been relying a lot on the blog to have evergreen content, just because that's the quickest, easiest way to have things like what is a Git workflow or what are Git version control best practices. But now we're going to be creating web articles that tackle these sort of evergreen topics. Yeah, so on these topic pages, it has a lot of great information, and one of the things that we'll be doing to increase their findability online is to have these web articles. So throughout these topic pages, we'll be inserting articles. So some of the ones that Suri has come up with are how to implement version control with GitLab, what is a Git workflow, what are Git version control best practices, and the benefits of a distributed version control system. And all of the titles of these articles are based on SEO. So we had Niall work with us on finding the best search terms, keywords, long tail keywords, So these are written with that in mind. So they'll be searchable and findable online. And this is when I really like the benefits of a distributed version control system. So these are more evergreen, not super pro GitLab. These are meant to be informational. And then similar to Surrey, I have written web articles to support the continuous integration and delivery topic page. So all of my web articles are going to be around this topic. So, you know, we have what is CI/CD, and now we're actually going to have, you know, here where it's the benefits of CI/CD, instead of having this here on this page, we're going to link to a web article that is, what are the benefits of continuous integration? So I have linked to some of my web article MRs, if you'd like to look over those. Some of the articles that I have to start out are continuous integration best practices, what is pipeline as code, how a continuous integration pipeline works, how to implement continuous integration, and the benefits of continuous integration. So as time goes on, we should hopefully be publishing these soon, and then we'll be adding on to that. I welcome your comments and queries, and I'll stop sharing. And next is Bree.
Thanks, Chrissy. Thank you for explaining. Nice job. I just wanted to add a link to the newest case study that I published on Monday, the Potato case study. It's a London-based software company that uses GitLab for CI for workflow efficiency and for their default tool for everything. And the link is in here in case you wanted to click on it. Niall is up next.
Yeah, so one of the things I just wanted to share is this week we produced a dashboard in Data Studio. So I'll just share the screen quickly. The reason behind producing it was there's bi-monthly reports going out for the integrated campaign. So instead of having to go in and pull each one of the metrics individually when the time came around, it just gives anyone who's involved with the campaigns access to the dashboard that they can analyze the page performance as they want and when they need the metrics. So the idea was just to compile it so you could just put in your URL, get the data for the page, but also then it could provide a breakdown of the channels that are pushing through the actions in the page or the events. So you could analyze all the types of events that are happening on the page, so not just the form submissions, so you can see if there's other actions in the page that are taking place that might be influencing the actions page and taken away from form submissions or could influence any optimization requirements. And also you can just filter it down by your default channel then to analyze it. So it's not just used by one particular team, but it's applicable to a few different teams. So it was just something that could simplify the reporting process. So I'll just hand it over to Shane.
Yeah, thanks, Niall. So I just want to, this is a combo shout out and show and tell, because I can't really show the videos that we're making on this call. It'd be a little bit like meta, right? But I do want to shout out and point out the work that Niall and Hanif have both done, making some videos this week talking about common SEO errors we see across the site, particularly in the handbook. And so you can go, I've added a link to the playlist where we're collecting those videos. And then, you know, just to kind of give you a little bit of a hint of the of what we're doing here, let me just share my screen quickly. And I just want to show, like, this is Hanif. He like wore a costume for his video, and it's amazing. So you got to watch the videos; they're great. Wanted to just kind of point those out so that you know they're there, but also shout out Niall and Hannah for being game for taking part in this handbook error match. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Becky.
Hi all. Sorry, when it's my turn, I always tend to lose my screen for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. I think this is what I want. Can you guys see what I'm sharing?
We're seeing your Slack right now.
Nope. Sorry, let's see if this works. Does that work?
Good.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so this is just a quick deck that we put together for a collaboration with the product growth team. This is about prospect and new user journey. So you guys can take a look through this. Pretty much we got together with the product growth team to align on goals and metrics, OKRs, all of that stuff. And we put together what customer success, business success looks like. We have an order of operations for how we're going to approach this. So pretty much right now where we have gotten to is we are identifying data needs across the teams and where we can collect that data, why it's important, what's required for the different systems or legal. And then we are putting together kind of an ideal flow for a new customer. So this is very, very beginning stages, but it's a great collaboration with that team so that we're all working towards the same goal. The next thing I just have here is put together kind of our growth marketing OKR process. So it has the timeline here for this quarter, and what we want to do is go through and say, here's the things that we are going to do on each of these steps, what the homework is, and then how we're going to organize it within GitLab. And then I think I have one other thing. Oh, I started, just as an FYI, I started a growth marketing shared drive. So this is in Google, just so that all the spreadsheets that we have, I was thinking, Niall, for this, for you, for all that SEO work that you do, instead of having it just in issues and having to search for those issues, we could keep that in the shared drive for anybody to access quickly. And then this is just something that came out of our growth marketing team, is we put together a team bookshelf. So if anybody wants to contribute to this, you can. It does not need to be workbooks. It can be regular books. Mine is Shadow Divers. So Stephen, if you want to, I know you like sharks. I don't know, I can't remember if a shark is involved in this one, but it's a lot of diving. It's very interesting. So that's just what I have to share for now. So handing, I think, am I the last person on here?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I think it's on to shout outs.
Moving on to the shout out section. Matt has the first item, but it looks like he had to step away from the computer. Matt, if you're here, speak up. Nope. Okay, I'll read his. Matt says, big thanks to Becky and William Chia for the assist on sourcing and approving a few key elements, namely the photos and code for the new enterprise page design. Rebecca, you have the next one.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you, Erica, and Val and Sarah for taking care of various items on the blog while I was on PTO. It is much appreciated. And today, I think, is officially Val's first 100% day on content marketing. So I just wanted to say a big thanks for all of your valuable contributions to the editorial team, and lots of luck on the new role. Next up is Lauren B.
Yeah, I wanted to give a big shout out to Chad Woolley. He really helped me with the Webpack external asset pipeline in building it. And then we had a little issue earlier this week, and he was really essential in helping us get that resolved. So thank you, Chad. And now on to Danielle.
Yes, I want to thank everyone so much for the work on OKRs. There's so many of them. I haven't read every single epic or issue in detail, but I think what really is coming through is that it's all rolling up to being able to clearly communicate with the CMO staff and make sure they understand the things that we have to do. I really appreciate everyone being super engaged in the process, and Becky for organizing the process just so we can kind of get this all wrangled, including having to move things around and figure out nesting and just figuring out how to make GitLab a great tool. So just a lot of patience and kindness I've noticed in the process. And yeah, I look forward to reading more of them in greater detail. I think I want to specifically call out, there was a lot of detail around the CMS project that Lauren and Brandon have been wrangling and explaining. And I think because it gets into kind of technical and infrastructure aspects of our marketing site that not all of us understand, they've been able to spell out in pretty clear language what's going on there. So I think if anybody's confused or concerned, it's just really an awesome example of being cross-functional. So love all of that. I have the next one as well. I wanted to thank Gila, Becky, Michael Preuss, Newt, and everyone who worked on the prospects and new customer journey presentation deck and the meeting that happened yesterday. This is the meeting that Becky's been coordinating. This is a pretty important cross-functional conversation that we're having with product growth, because we're trying to figure out how to clarify our funnels and make sure that we are all working towards the same goals. I felt like this was really a great demonstration of all of the GitLab values, but particularly collaboration and results, because we can maximize the value of the work we do on this team if we figure out what it is that we really want. And I also felt like the meeting ended up very polished, organized, and clear. So it was a really good use of having our CMO and our EVP product in the meeting yesterday. So just awesome stuff. I think it makes our team look really good. Thank you for making me look good, but really it's about getting the business to the next level. So thank you all for that. And next up is Becky.
Yep. So I'm just adding on to that. I want to thank Michael for helping with the clarifying the goals and representing the user in these conversations, especially when we talk to product. A lot of the times we end up talking about metrics and a lot of very detailed things, and the user gets lost in that. So Michael has been making sure to raise his hand and be like, hello, this is the person we're talking about. We need to make sure that they're at the front of the stage. And then also for Amy and Newt, because they have provided so much information on not only the data we have to have legally, but also why it's important to them to have it and in what stage. So that's been very helpful as well. And on to Vic.
Hi. Yeah, mine was just a shout out to Matt for letting me bend his ear yesterday. I told him it would be like a 10-minute conversation, but it actually turned into like an hour-long debacle. So thanks, Matt. He basically just sort of offered to take me under his wing a little bit when where it comes to design, and help me grow into a better designer and a more useful designer, and grow that skill set. So thanks, Matt, for that. That's really helpful, and I'm really excited to sort of allow for that mentorship. It's gonna be fun. And sorry I took like a ridiculous amount of your time yesterday. I think it's Shin next. Yeah, Shin.
Yeah, I added this on late. So I was looking at Slack and I noticed work anniversaries, and I noticed that Becky is celebrating her first year at GitLab this week. So congrats, Becky. And that was all I had.
All right. Well, I guess you can play us out, Shane.
Here we go. Another great song from the same album. I don't have any pink robots though. All right. See y'all.